I'm done with my segment.
It's a Cash Show.
It's a Cash Podcast.
It is Friday, April 29th, 2016. I don't know why you do that on our open.
Why, I like it.
Yeah, but you ruined John Clayton's whole thing.
I enhanced John Clayton. Are you kidding me?
No, you make it sound ridiculous.
I'm like a combination of his spirit animal and an echo. It's perfect. It's fucking perfect.
Yeah,
I make it way better.
Yeah, but you make it worse, so just stop doing it.
Just so you guys know, I will be drinking coffee and wine during this show.
All right.
And yes, those are two of my favorite drinks ever.
Okay. 10 wings, you owe me, so go get your fucking shine box.
This is true. I owe Scotty 10 wings because I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't factor in the fact that your best three players would be in some way, shape, or form injured. If we switched that to Atlanta and they lost one of their best three players, another one had a fucking bad ankle, and another one was just never healed from another injury, which actually was an ankle as well.
But we never made that clause.
I understand that. There was no injury clause. I'm not. There's no excuses. I will pay my wings. I will go get my fucking shine box and spit shine your shoes. The point is here, okay, that you can't sit here and tell me that if those three guys, Horford, we'll say Millsap missed the series,
okay,
and Bradley played, do you really think Atlanta would have beat the Celtics without Millsap and Bradley
probably
playing?
Not.
No. Celtics would have beat them in 5, okay? It's actually disgusting, and I'm perturbed at how terrible Atlanta is that it took them 6 games to beat a team that had a bum Isaiah Thomas getting triple teamed. That's it. They have no other offense. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Jared Sullinger and Kelly Olynyk are 2 of the worst Celtics that ever existed. I hope Sullinger gets shot tonight. Tonight.
That's strong.
Tonight.
That's strong.
Of course, I hope that they're really aiming for Goodell and it's just a misfired bullet, but tonight.
No, I hope that they're aiming for Sully and it hits Goodell. I don't know why.
That's fine. That's fine. Whatever.
All right, but we're going to be talking about, we're going to really limit the show to just a couple of segments. One's going to be the Deflategate crap.
Probably a lie.
No, Deflategate crap we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the Celtics and where they go from here as they go into free agency because their summer officially started last night. And we're going to be getting into the Red Sox. They're pitching a little bit better, but I still don't see it. I still don't see them contending, and I still don't think John Farrell's the guy. You know how Chris already feels about that.
Yeah, I want John Farrell fired, like, now, even if they win, like, the next 10 games. That's just me.
They could run off 10 in a row, and you still want him gone.
Because I don't think he's a good manager.
I don't think he's a good manager either.
We talked about this. I know that you were like, oh, Doc Rivers only won, he wasn't good. Yes. He's a better manager, worse manager than Doc Rivers was coach. No matter what you say. No matter how much you hate Doc.
I agree with you. And I
know.
And I don't hate Doc.
How much you hate
hate is a strong word. I think he's a good guy. I just think he's a friggin' liar and a quitter, and he's not a good coach.
Okay, you have a vehement disgust for Doc, which is the equivalent of hate. Okay? The fact that you owned a website called firedocnow.com.
I still got the shirt.
And you still have the shirt, and you actually, like, openly, like, we should have fired him right away. It's like, he won a championship. He's a potential Hall of Fame and probably will be a Hall of Fame coach. He has a Coach of the Year award. He's generally considered a very good coach. I'm not saying he's Greg Popovich. I'm not saying he's Red Auerbach. I'm not even saying he's as good as Brian Stevens necessarily. I'm just telling you that he is a damn good coach that most people really think deserves it. Now, you don't have... You can hate the guy. You can hate him. I don't care. You say you don't hate him. You hate him. You hate him.
You really just went there with Coach of the Year.
He won Coach of the Year. I don't.
So Steve Kerr is a better coach than
I already told you this.
Greg Popovich.
No, we're not going to boil it down to that small of an argument. That's a oversimplification. Just like being like, well, then obviously if rings are more important, everyone's better than Dan Marino. And I'm like, no, I didn't say Trent Dilfer is better than Dan Marino. No one said that. No one said Joe Flacco is better than Dan Marino. That's not how it works. One ring doesn't make you better than Dan Marino. Just like one Coach of the Year doesn't make you better than Greg Popovich has to have a couple Coach of the Year awards. First of all. Second of all, I'm not even saying Coach of the Year always goes to the right person because, for the record, y'all were wrong.
They won 73 games.
And I thought about that, and I was like, oh, you know what? That is really impressive. Except, like, 30 of them were under Luke Walton. Who I don't even know if he can coach. He's probably just as really good at, like, tuning people out because he probably had to listen to his father be like, and the sands of time.
Why do you
Larry Bird? Because he always says sands of time. If you listen to him talk, I swear to God, he said sands of time at least 1 million times in his life. At least. Listen, you have to listen to some of the old Celtics game announcements.
We're gonna get into. By the way, Chris and myself, we're boycotting the NFL draft. I'm pretty much gonna boycott everything NFL related until.
If you're not boycotting the NFL draft, shut our show off right now.
Because
there goes all our listeners.
We're not. Oh yeah, all 5 of them. Yeah, but
I thought it was like 4 people and 1 person watched it twice.
Yeah, but we're not talking about the NFL tonight.
Listened twice.
We're not talking about the NFL draft tonight. So I'm sorry, guys.
I will.
No, here's what I'm gonna do.
I'll tell you about the NFL draft. No, I don't care.
No, I'm gonna look in the Herald tomorrow morning. I'm gonna see who they drafted.
Tomorrow morning.
I'm gonna watch. Go ahead.
Sunday, when I roll out of bed, I'm going to find out how the Patriots draft went, and there you go. It's not that hard. I don't care. I could care less. I'm not even going to look at ESPN. I'm not going to give them a goddamn click. ESPN, by the way, I canceled my ESPN Insider today because they suck just as much as the NFL does.
Oh, I didn't even fucking tell you.
I'm not going back and forth or doing anything for anybody with those two networks or
I didn't tell you.
entities. What?
I was sick last night because I had the NFL mobile app. And I'm like, no, fuck the NFL. I deleted it.
Yep.
Took it out of my phone. Because I was getting notifications every 2 seconds with their draft. And I'm like, no, fuck Goodell. Fuck the NFL. Fuck the NFL mobile app. You ruined the league. I'm not fucking... No, fuck you. So I deleted it from... I know that's a lot of fucks. And I got it out of my fucking phone. I shut my phone off last night. NFL mobile's fucking back on my phone.
You know what that is? That's a sad cry for help from the NFL. They probably have a thing that it just automatically reloads on you. Oh, you must have... I'm sorry, did you accidentally delete us? We're coming back. And he's still getting notifications, by the way.
No, I'm trying to fucking get rid of it right now.
I understand that. Granted, to be fair, Scotty doesn't know how to delete things. I mean, the computer's probably going to beep in a minute because he doesn't know how to update things either.
Yeah, here. Get rid of it then.
All right.
How do you get rid of that thing?
I don't know anything about your phone. There you go. It's gone.
I don't think it's gone, though. That's the thing.
What? I can figure it out later, Scotty. Anyways,
right.
Let's talk about what we will talk about football, which is the Deflategate crap.
Now, I want to start by one thing, and this isn't going to be. I hate to say I told you so because I told you so. All right, that's not what this is going to be. But
yeah, it probably is.
No, I'm not. I swear to God. But remember when the panel was announced, and 2 were Democratic and 1 was Republican, so we said it's 2 against 1. That's great news for Brady. Woo!
Well, it was great news for Brady.
I said at the time, I didn't think party affiliation mattered. I understand that Democrats are typically more sensitive to labor laws and labor disputes. I get that. I didn't think it mattered because you should read the facts of the case, and common sense should tell you do the right thing. Didn't think
right. But see, what you got is you got one liberal judge who had a brain, one conservative judge that has a conservative brain, which means he doesn't really have a brain, and then a completely retarded Denny Chin, who doesn't believe in science and math.
The one Asian who can't read.
And thinks that Jesus Christ rode dinosaurs. Apparently, okay? Because he was like, there's a lot of evidence against Tom Brady. I was like, no, there's not. No, well, the math and science, no, the math and science is all wrong. It's all fake.
Chris, the one thing about the appeal 6 weeks ago that really bothered, and I told you at the time this bothered me, they kept harping on the phone. Which, if they had read the material, they would know.
But it makes no sense. Just like all the people, when Berman vacated Brady's decision, they all said, well, that doesn't mean he's innocent, and it has nothing to do with being innocent. It has to do with procedure. Well, first of all, Berman came close to saying he was innocent, even though he was not allowed to say that. Okay? Now, what they just did was they were like, it's only about procedure, but the phone makes them look bad, so that's why we're doing this.
No, but is that...
You can't do that.
But, did they not do their homework? Before that's what they had.
Scotty, I don't think Denny Chin can read. I don't know how he's a judge. It's got to be like a quota or something. I don't know how they found the dumb Asian because I'm not trying to be racist here. A lot of Asians are very smart. I've met very few dumb Asians, but they found one. Maybe they needed a dumb Asian to sit on a federal judgeship.
But that bothered me at the time. And the other thing was the phone thing was irrelevant. It was no longer whether he did or didn't do it, whether they had evidence. It was all about procedure. Now, what they said in overturning Judge Berman's decision was Article 46. Article 46, Article 46, Article 46.
Yeah, they just kept repeating it.
Oh, by the way, DeMaurice Smith saying this is from the NFLPA saying this is ridiculous. How could they rule this way? Well, if it's so ridiculous, why the fuck did you agree to it 5 years ago?
This is the thing.
Douchebag.
Just because you agree to Article 46 doesn't mean
it was agreed to. It was agreed to in good faith that this guy wasn't going
to act like
going to be a fucking
Number one,
maniac.
He's supposed to act the same way that they've been acting, which was Tagliabue being like, "Oh, hey, you guys did something. Let's just brush it under the rug." Number two, when you agree to something like this, you're not agreeing that fair process just goes away. Fair process still trumps everything. which is why this actually could be brought to the Supreme Court. As crazy as that sounds. This is a little bit, I know this is not important real world things.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a high profile case, so that's why I think
It's high profile, it's a lot of labor.
Right.
This is very important for labor law. People might not agree with it and believe it. It's very important for labor law because this is what trumps something. A bargained agreement and a contract or actual fair process and fair labor law for everyone. Which trumps which?
See, this is why I think, even though I still think, I'm not going to say right now the NFL won. I would say the NFL is winning at this point.
Yeah, they're ahead of. They're ahead a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and there's like 2 minutes left in the game. Brady got the ball.
Because if this goes to the Supreme Court, I do think that Brady has a chance. Also, too, the head judge was Katzman, who was he dissented. He was vehemently for Brady.
Yeah, the only judge with a brain.
So that makes look at he was the Clinton judge, right?
Yeah.
While I think Clinton was a little overrated as president, he was intelligent. I can't say that about the last 2 presidents we've had. So there goes that.
I just want you guys to know, my boy Teddy Olson was signed to the Brady team.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys don't know, this is why I think even more. I already thought it had a chance to go to the Supreme Court the entire time.
This guy,
depending on what happened.
This guy has done. I read up on him a little bit. He is, I think, 75%. He wins 75% of his cases in the Supreme Court. He has connections in Washington. All the judges know him.
He was the Solicitor General.
No, he was.
That's a big deal.
No, he was an assistant. Yeah, he was assistant attorney general under Reagan.
He was the Solicitor General.
Yeah.
Which means you're basically the guy that is set to argue everything in front of the Supreme Court.
Right.
That's a big deal. It's a huge deal. Okay? If the NFL signed the LeBron James of lawyers,
yeah,
he's either the Bill Russell or Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, Larry Bird, whoever you want to call him. If he's not just as good, he may be better.
That's the other thing about the appeal process that bothered me.
He's a Tom Brady.
No, hold on.
Of lawyers.
What the hell is the guy at the NFL? Clement? Was that his name?
Yep.
Everything he said in the appeal process, just about everything was false. And no one ever called him on it.
No, a lot of people called him on it.
A lot of people. No, I'm saying Kessler blew that one. How do you not bring that up in a courtroom?
I don't think he was given an opportunity because they just beat him down about the cell phone. The problem is Kessler's other arguments had left too many things open where they just beat him down on those. He never got to even argue in front of that court. He never got to argue in front of the Second Circuit. He just got beat up. Which is his own fault to some degree. But Kessler's awesome, but he lost there, really. But we'll see what goes on. I've heard that both sides will not, in any way, shape, or form, settle.
By the way, Roger Goodell was on Mike and Mike today.
Roger Goodell's been on Goodell's been on everything. He might have been on our podcast, and I just don't know about it yet.
No, but I'm saying, doesn't this guy have? This guy has no spine. Go on a show, go on a podcast, go on a radio station where they're going to actually not softball pitch you questions. Mike and Mike probably asked him where the Pro Bowl was going to be next year.
Does that change? Mexico City. Next question.
Yeah, probably. They're probably going to be crapping blood.
Did you know Kenso got a promotion?
No, he got a demotion. They sent him to
I thought it's technically a promotion, but it's like
they sent him.
It's like Mexico. A go-away promotion.
Yeah, it's like you might be called to testify. Yeah, go down to Mexico.
Hide in Mexico with our drug cartel. It's official NFL business.
Anyone comes down there, you just go no habla.
Go deflate some footballs.
Anyone comes down there, just go no habla inglés. Miguel Cancelo.
I don't even know.
It's like rats deserting a sinking ship. The funny thing is, it's probable that NFL's going to win this and Brady's going to have to be suspended for 4 games. They may win legally. They got blasted in public perception.
Lost.
Everyone knows that they're full of shit.
The NFL at this point can't win.
Everyone, even fans of teams that hate the Patriots are saying that they were railroaded. NFL executives, one of them was quoted.
You can take away a pick, you can take away a quarterback, but you can't take our freedom.
No Braveheart. No Braveheart. But yeah, everyone knows. Everyone knows. It's a done deal.
On that note, I got in a little bit of a spat with Jerry Thornton on Facebook.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I was just telling Scotty about it. And Thornton wants to sit here and pitch that he's a defender of the faith and the white knight and always protecting Brady and the Patriots and he's the biggest honk of all honks, which he kind of is, which I have no problem with if that's one of your shtick and how you go about it. When he still watches the draft and acts like that's okay, it's not okay if that's going to be your stance. You boycott this draft. You lead the charge. You don't give up on us. Now, I made a comment that he couldn't be the Lord Commander of the Brady Watch if he's going to watch the draft. Scotty doesn't get that comment. And I realized, and I told Scotty this, I can't make any comments or any jokes that has anything to do with, like, real social things. Scotty doesn't watch TV. He doesn't watch
a ton of TV. What are you talking
about? Do you, though?
That's
You don't watch any shows. You don't watch Walking Dead. You don't watch Game of Thrones.
Dude, every time I
don't watch anything popular.
Every time I like a show, it goes off the air.
What does that tell you? It's a shitty show.
The Sopranos is a shitty show.
I was going to say, the only one you get is, oh, you watch The Sopranos.
The Wire was a shitty show.
I don't watch The Wire.
Rescue Me was a shitty show.
Rescue Me is a good show.
Excellent
Sopranos is a great show.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
All right. They're off the air. What do you want me to do?
Start watching new shows.
Does South Park count? I watch South Park.
Yeah, South Park counts.
Okay.
They actually make fun of the NFL and Brady all the time, too.
Yeah.
No problem with that.
But I'm done. And you know what? I actually went through this before with the NBA. For those who don't know me, I know Chris knows this. Game 6, 2002 NBA Western Conference Finals. Sacramento Kings, Los Angeles Lakers, Game 6. Sacramento.
By the way, that was the night my Uncle Ray won a card game, and he just kept running around going, I got big fucking balls, man. Big fucking balls.
What,
one of my friends was like,
stuff?
One of my friends was like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with your uncle? He's fucking crazy.
Ray is crazy, but that's why we love him. But anyone who watched that game that night, you watched that game.
Yep.
That was a bag job. It was fixed.
Oh, yeah, completely.
And it came out later. But even before the evidence came out, I turned to my dad. I was like, I can't watch this league anymore. It's fixed.
Yep.
It's fixed. So for any of the people who listen to this are saying, like, oh, he's not watching the NFL because they're, like, screwing the Patriots. No. If this was the Miami Dolphins they were doing this to, I would still highly object to it. Because it's just not right.
Yeah. I am officially boycotting any non-Patriots games.
Yeah.
People can sit here and say, oh, we're going to do just you. No. You know what? If enough people stop watching, they're going to have to change. And while I'm just one person...
They're so arrogant, though.
Listen, I got them to get the regular refs back. Because once they started boycotting, they got rid of the replacement refs. Because it was absurd.
But I held strong from that day in 2002 to the day David Stern stepped down in 2014. If Celtics weren't on, I didn't watch. I didn't watch the NBA Finals. I didn't watch any of that crap. I actually, and Chris remembers this, when David Stern announced he was stepping down, I said to you, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give Adam Silver a shot. I'm gonna come back to the NBA slowly. So I've watched the NBA more in the last 2 years than I had the previous 10.
Now,
so
I just want to go on record as saying he's currently the best commissioner in the 4 leagues. He's the best commissioner in the 4 leagues. I'm not saying that's a crazy statement, or that's actually giving him any credit. Oh, see, there you go. Something Scotty can't figure out. Boom.
Look, I do the update.
I mean, you're talking about Goodell, the worst commissioner that ever existed, Bettman, and Manfred, who...
We don't have enough history with him.
Incomplete. He's half of a paper, okay? We don't know the conclusion yet. I mean, granted, I know Silva's young, too. He hasn't been there very long, but he's a very good commissioner so far.
He banned Donald Sterling. That was awesome.
Been a great commissioner so far.
I don't like the things, the ads on the uniforms. I think that's going
to happen with everybody.
I think it's a complete insult.
It's not, though. Dude, have you been to Fenway Park?
Yeah, it sucks.
Have you seen the ads everywhere?
It sucks.
Have you watched the playoffs when they start putting digital ads on everything?
It sucks.
I'm sorry. It's the way it's going to
be. By the way, we must have some really fucking weak-minded people living in this country. I have never once seen, like, a Pepsi ad and say, oh, wow, I saw that ad. It makes me want a Pepsi.
It does, though. It's subliminal messaging. You just don't know.
No, it doesn't.
Scotty doesn't realize his brain's like, always Coca-Cola. That's why you don't want a Pepsi, dude.
I hate Pepsi.
Because those always.
I was just using that as an example.
Always Coca-Cola commercials got you. That's why you hate Pepsi. The sun will always shine.
No, I think Pepsi tastes like watered down diarrhea, and Coke tastes like Coke, and it's delicious.
I hadn't realized you had drank watered down diarrhea, but it's good to know.
I did. It was called Pepsi. Diarrhea flavor. Not to mention the Pepsi copycats everything Coke does. Like Coke
had the second best.
Coke had cherry Coke, and then Pepsi went to wild cherry Pepsi.
They're the second best, dude.
And that Coke had vanilla Coke, and what did Pepsi? Pepsi didn't come out with vanilla Pepsi. They came out with Pepsi Vanilla.
Listen, dude.
The original, dude.
You
That's
hate
all I'm
Pepsi
saying.
too much.
I hate Pepsi. I think it's gross.
I think it's gross.
All right. Have we said everything we wanted to say about this crap?
Deflategate?
Yeah. Something that should
I
have
don't
been.
know what else there is to say about
Something that should have been over the day of the AFC Championship game.
it. I'm
and it's
wondering
still
who
going on.
the most upset because I really thought you could have flipped Jimmy Garoppolo for a couple picks,
Well, you need him now.
but now you don't have a choice. On top of that, now you need to sign another quarterback. Who are you going to get? Matt Hasselbeck? Get him out of retirement? His brother hates Brady. So we're going to see how that goes. I mean, who else are you going to get? Call up Doug Flutie? Doug, you still drop kick? Great. You can't call Prince. I mean,
Well, that was basketball, not football.
I know it was a joke.
Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico.
John Grease. Give him a call.
Chris O'Keefe's available. Throw that football over the mountains.
That would actually be hilarious.
If I was a quarterback,
I was going to say Uncle Rico, but yeah.
we'd still win a game.
Well,
Be like the home game against Buffalo, but
dude, you freaking hand off to. You just throw it to Gronk. Can't go wrong.
Gronk smash.
You get in the gun, you throw it to Gronk, and you watch him run.
I am completely just pissed about this. I'm not going to watch the draft. I'm not going to read about the draft.
Which sucks because this is, this is the first year since I've known you, I think, we didn't go to sidelines to watch the draft. We go every year.
Not only do I go every year, I make a mock draft usually. I read all the mock drafts.
Oh, we're nerds.
I read everything.
I read Mel Kiper's
I write
book.
stuff about it. I write my own analysis on the players. I watch all the videos on a lot of them. I decide which guys I like.
Oh, it was
Like,
great.
I literally, you can ask James, I literally said I wanted them to draft Danny Woodhead the year he came out of college. When he was drafted by no one, by the way. Stayed a free agent. I was like, this kid runs a 4.4, and he's a beast of a pass-catching running back. I was like, he's a little white kid, and he's not going to get drafted, but he should.
Then James was like, I like Kenny Britton.
Well, to be fair, I like Stephen Hill that went going to the Jets, and he sucked. I've liked players that have sucked. I'm not saying I've always hit, but I've hit on a decent amount. So
You've hit more than Belichick on receivers.
that's true, actually. That is true.
I don't even know if they picked
That's
yet.
because Belichick hasn't hit on receivers.
I don't even know if they picked yet.
I don't know. We could also talk about Laramie Tunsil if you wanted to.
The pot thing?
Yeah.
I don't care. No, if we do that, Goodell wins. Let's not talk about
No. All right, well, moving on to other sports
Roger
that actually
Goodell.
don't try to take our picks.
it. Kill yourself.
Let's talk about basketball, where we have an infinite amount of picks. Maybe the Celtics should loan picks to the Patriots.
Could they do that?
Are they allowed to do that?
I
We'll
don't
just
know.
loan you 2 second-rounders.
All right, let's talk about just an abysmal series for the Celtics, especially the last two games.
Now, you were right. Atlanta won. I will still sit here and tell you, I
Okay.
do not think they were the bad matchup that you think they did. Right?
I will say this. I thought going into the series that Atlanta was a horrible matchup. As bad as the Celtics played, and they were horrible, Atlanta was just as bad.
Right, I don't think
They were
Atlanta's that
terrible.
good. That's what I tried to explain to you. I don't think...
By the way,
Millsap's a bad matchup
By the way,
for you.
you only signed Horford this summer if Durant looks you in the eyes and say, "I'm not coming here without Horford." Then
I only
you're
sign
forced to sign.
Horford if Durant and Jimmy Butler go, then we'll each take a mid-level exception, a mid-level contract. Sure, we'll sign Horford for that. That's it. I don't want Horford. I don't want Horford at all.
I told you at the deadline I think he's 30 years old.
Well, he is
He's
30 years
he's
old.
getting further.
That's not an I think. That's a
he's
fact.
Well, he's 29, right?
Well, but he's going to be 30.
I told you they wanted, a Godfather offer for him at the deadline, and I told you, he's 30 years old. He's getting further and further and further away from the basket.
He can't play anymore.
I wouldn't say he can't play anymore.
Listen, you just had an old Florida State Gator. Excuse me, Florida Gator. Florida State Gator. That was funny. You just had an old Florida Gator. His name's what? David Lee. He don't play on the team anymore, does he? Why? He can't play anymore. If you want to go get someone that used to play in Florida on that team,
Joakim Noah,
you go get...
who I love, but he's breaking down.
Is he better than Horford and Lee right now?
Yeah.
The crazy thing is those three guys played together in the national championship team. That's why they won the championship.
That team, yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, Billy the Kid team. Billy the Kid had some
Think
stacked
about it.
teams.
That team was
back-to-back
stacked.
years. But who else was
Those are three legit big men that have all made All-Star games.
Was Corey Brewer on that team?
NBA.
Corey Brewer on that team?
I don't remember.
I don't know. They were loaded, though. I remember in 07, they played Ohio State in the national championship game. Greg Oden and Mike Conley's team.
Conley is...
He's had a good career.
Yeah.
He's had a real good I think he's a free agent, too.
He's been injured a lot, though.
Yeah.
He's getting old, too, now.
Yeah.
This guy's age right before your eyes.
Well, he's in his late 20s now.
I think he's almost 30.
Mike Conley? Nah, I want to say he's like 27, 28.
I think it's 29.
We'll take a peek.
think he's 29, Scotty. You can look it up, but
Having said that, though, the Celtics are so abysmal offensively, and for the people who didn't want when Jonas Jerebko's your best outside option,
second option.
you're done. You're done, and that's not
Second option.
And that's
First
not
of all, Jared Sullinger.
That's not a knock
Kelly,
on. That's not a
tell
knock
him to
on.
walk.
That's not a knock on Jerebko.
Tell him to walk.
He played well.
I want 3 people definitely on this team. Isaiah, Bradley,
Turner,
no,
Crowder.
Crowder. I like Turner. He's not a must.
He's 28. He's going to be 29 in October.
Son of a bitch. Well, by the Scotty Cash rules, I'm right. By my real rules, you're right. That's how time
There
works.
you go. That's how it works.
He's still 28. I don't want everyone else back on this team. I don't want a lot of the players on this team. If you can get Amir Johnson and Jerebko for cheap again, for 1 year with no extra guarantee, fine.
Here's the thing. Their cap space right now, I don't know what it
They
is.
have tons of cap space.
I think right now it's
Almost every player they have, too, is on a wicked good deal.
I think right now their cap space is 20 million, but if they don't bring those guys back, it jumps up to 35, and that's what they're gonna do because they're gonna try to sign, and I don't think it's gonna happen, but that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna try to sign Durant and another max guy. Now, again, getting back to what I've been pounding into your head and other people's heads for months, they need a top 2 pick. They need a top 2 pick because they can go out and trade for a guy that Durant will want to play with.
Listen, if you get a
Jimmy Butler was the name that was brought up today.
Jimmy Butler's been brought up before. I told you that. You got a 3rd or 4th pick though. Let's just say the 3rd or 4th pick. Okay?
I don't think it's good enough, but go
All
ahead.
right. And you take that and package it with Marcus Smart, who I still think is a bum. I'm sorry, I don't get it. He had a good series. He's a tenacious little guy. Yada yada yada. Good for him. All right, he hit a couple threes. Whip-de-doo. Suddenly he's a great player, and I'm like, but he's not. This is the Jared Sullinger thing that I tried to explain to all you guys a long time ago. But he's not really that good. Oh, but he was drafted, and if he could get unfat, and if he had a good back, and he was supposed to go in top 5, but no, he's not that good. I didn't think he was that good. Told you guys he wasn't gonna be that good. He's like a worse big baby. What do you want from me? He doesn't even take charges. It's a terrible comparison. He's just fat.
Big Baby actually had a good career until he ate himself out of the league.
Well, Sullinger had a bad career until he ate himself out of the league, okay? So, again, he's just a worse big baby. But I don't know, man. I don't know. You can't keep Smart. He's not that good. I say you flip Smart, whatever pick you get.
Here's the thing. I think Smart as the 8th or 9th guy on a championship team is fine. I just don't think he's a starter.
Well, so that's why you take him, and everyone's so high on him right now. You take whatever pick you get, 3rd or 4th. You take maybe a few other pieces. Not the 3 I just named if you can help it. I mean, if you have to trade him, you trade him. And you go get Cousins.
If you can get... it's funny how I've been saying Boogie Cousins.
I don't like Cousins
for a year and a half.
If you get Cousins, and you could sign Durant.
Yeah, he's 26. He averaged 27 and 12, and Chris doesn't want him.
He's a head case.
I don't think he would act up here. I think he desperately...
because Brad Stevens is going to hit him with a ruler?
Listen to me. I honestly think all the kid wants is a winning situation. I think that would help him. By the way...
But it's cold in Boston, Scotty.
Who cares? That's such a crock of shit. Yeah,
I read that article you sent me, by the way.
Chicago and New York...
I have better insights than all those guys.
I just... What the hell? I was bored at work. I decided...
I get it. It's a nice article. Thank you. And that was... I'm appreciative as the ESPN Insider, even though I still had it at that point, because I did cancel it tonight. Because you know what they do? They just bill your credit card every 2 years, and they don't tell you. Oh, we send you an email ahead of time for his confirmation. I'm like, but you don't.
In my defense, it's not mine. It's Rizzo's.
That's fine. Well, Rizzo can now share it with everybody.
I just know his thing and password.
That's good.
Then he'd be like, why can't I get my...
Well, that reminds me of my friend.
Why can't I get my insider?
Listen, I used to live in 5-person real world type townhouse.
In Lynn?
In Salem. In Salem on Forest Ave. And it was like the real world. We lived next to a landlord was crazy. She was like the mix between a pirate and a 16th century composer. It was lunatic. She would sit outside in the rain and cut the shrubs for hours and watch us and be like, wonderful weather. She had a dog named Trooper. Crazy. Lunacy. However, so I'm sitting there hanging out with all my friends, okay? Because we lived in again, a real world situation. Yeah. And my friend's brother comes over and he goes, yo, just so you guys know, I got a Bang Bros account. And we're like, all right. He's like, I'll give you guys all the name and password so we can all share it. But everyone has a certain time. So we all got assigned a time that we could go on Bang Bros with the name, username, and password. That was the best thing ever, dude. And I don't even think it was his Bang Bros account. I think it was someone else's. So it was 40 people sharing one Bang Bros account. You know how insane that is? That's what we should do with Rizzo's. Just share it with everybody. You guys, give it away.
I get it. I got it on my phone.
Just tell them all. This is Rizzo's ID and password.
It'd be best.
Now you guys can only be on between 10 p.m. and midnight.
Like you can look at it between 10 and 10.
Other than then, I'm jerking off.
Between 10 and 10:05.
Like who jerks off to ESPN Insider?
Like they might get Durant.
Oh, Durant.
Hey, Ma, where's my lotion? Hey, Ma, I'm not done with my segment yet.
All right. No, but seriously, getting back to Cousins. I think if you put him in a winning situation, his temperament would improve. I honestly believe that. You go back to the 80s, what was Dennis Johnson?
Oh, I don't know. A champion. A finals MVP.
I get that.
A perennial all-star who was better than Boogie Cousins.
Well,
maybe not better.
Different
type player.
Yeah, but his own coach, Lenny Wilkins, who he won a championship with, called him a cancer. That's a quote. DJ had a reputation around the league.
They've called Rondo a cancer.
And he is.
I don't think Rondo's that much different than Dennis Johnson. Maybe they're both tripods. I don't know.
Except DJ was an infinitely better player.
Infinitely better. Are you kidding me?
Best defensive.
I mean, Rondo might be a Hall of Famer posthumously. You don't know that.
He's going to have to die first?
If he gets shot, he'll be a Hall of Famer. It'll be like the Biggie Tupac.
By the way.
Once they die, they're like the best ever.
By the way, Tupac was the best ever when he was alive, too.
So was Biggie. They were both nasty. That was...
I always like Pac better.
What about you a Big L fan?
Am I a who?
Big L fan? I know who Big L is?
Biggie?
Big L.
Oh.
I digress. We'll skip the rest of this segment.
All right.
We'll go to a different sport.
No,
hockey.
No, shut up. What was I talking about? I can't remember.
What were you talking about?
We were talking about
Rondo. DJ.
Oh, we were talking about...
The great Celtics of the past who were cancers that came here and suddenly decided to be an awesome.
Really quick. How is Johnny Most not in the Hall of Fame? I just found out like a couple months ago he's not in the Hall of Fame.
He's an announcer.
He called 6... Chick Hearn's in the Hall of Fame. Marty Glickman's in the Hall of Fame.
To be fair,
Johnny
if
Most,
they are, he should be.
Johnny Most called more championships than all of them.
I didn't know announcers get rings now, Scotty. Announcers get rings.
You
know how many rings an announcer has? It's got to be a Hall of Famer. It's got to be. That's how that works.
He has the most famous call in the history of the league, by far. It's not up for debate.
It's way up there.
No, it's
got to be.
It's up here and everything else.
It's only played like, I mean, you go to Mass and it's played.
Yeah.
They're singing in Latin. They're like, Havlicek stole the ball.
Havlicek stole the ball. Over to Sam Jones. Havlicek stole the ball.
This is Scotty's audition for opera.
It's all over. It's all over. No, that actually...
For those of you that are still with us, we're going to try to talk sports again.
That actually works. No, seriously. Havlicek stole the ball.
All right, that's great.
Over to Sam Jones.
We'll patent this later, okay? We'll write our trademark for it.
Okay. It's going to be freaking huge, bro. No, but...
That's the GM.
Seriously, how is he not in the Hall of Fame? That's a disgrace.
I don't know. What do I look like? A Hall of Fame member that votes?
I just think
I don't get to vote.
How did Tommy...
I've already told you guys this. If I was the OVA commissioner, which is a pseudo position I made up, where I get to be above all the commissioners and make all the rules for the sports world, everything in sports would be so much better. So much better.
Yeah, right.
Every sport. I'll finally finish my article if you want. I would all the changes I would make. It would be a perfect sports world. It would be utopia.
You'd have all the steroid guys up.
Yeah, I would.
I want Barry Bonds in. I want A-Rod in.
Today. I do. I mean, what's Barry Bonds at worst what?
Fifth all time.
No, at worst probably 3 all time. I don't even know if you could you can't freaking argue 4 people over him realistically.
Yeah, you could.
Who? You're gonna say Babe Ruth, Willie Mays. Who?
I think those 2 are better. Yeah.
Okay. I disagree. I think Babe Ruth. That's it. Continue though.
You don't think Willie Mays is better than Barry Bonds?
No.
Really?
Really?
You don't think Henry Aaron's better?
No.
What about Rogers Hornsby? Ty Cobb?
That one's closer. Ty Cobb, no.
What?
Okay.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
Just because you hit a bunch and you hate black folks? That's not how that works.
His career average is 367.
Everyone's career average back then was like 300. It's a different era. That's like being like, well, Cousy only shot 37%. Everyone shot 37%. It's a different era. You still got to era adjust for baseball. That's why there's this thing called OPS plus. Okay? ERA plus, because then you actually compare it to the league. Okay, Barry Bonds was like, I'm going to walk 1 billion times because they're going to make me. I'm still going to hit 73 home runs. Oh, and by the way, my OPS is going to be like 1.6 because they just don't want to deal with me and I just hit bombs all day.
The amazing thing about Barry Bonds, his most impressive stat, I think, he was walked 2,500 times. He missed 5 MLB seasons just getting walked.
Do you know how many unintentional, intentional walks he had?
He's the only guy I've ever seen get walked with the bases loaded. They gave up a run. They're like, here, take a run.
And you know what? I think if they could have been like, can we just skip him next time? They would have let all 3 of the guys score on that walk. They'd be like, all right, this is the rule. If we walk Barry Bonds, the bases loaded, you guys get 3 runs, but then he doesn't get up again. You know what I mean? That's how impactful he was.
We'll give you 3 runs.
It was insane. And so, at worst, in my realistic opinion, I say you can put Babe Ruth ahead of him. And those 2 are on a different level.
You could put Gehrig up there as well.
Yeah, so Gehrig, if you're going to say Gehrig, then I'm going to have to say that you can put Ted Williams up there.
Oh, Williams was a better hitter.
Williams might be the best hitter ever. It's very hard to argue. Power, average, everything included.
I don't think you can make a case that he isn't the greatest hitter ever.
Well, you could say Ruth.
Ted Williams.
It's different. It's hard.
It is hard.
I mean, we're talking about like the slightest minute differences.
But you got to
errors and who you're looking at and what you're comparing.
You got to look at Williams' numbers though.
And to that point, real quick.
Yep.
Babe Ruth used to hit, we'll just say 50 home runs. I mean, it was.
He averaged about 50 a year for a while.
How many did teams hit back then?
He used to hit more home runs than every team in the American League.
There's a chance
to do that
now,
today. You'd have to
you're saying there's a chance. There's a chance. Just a chance. Okay, I know I brought this up the other day.
Go.
Who's a guy that you said? Well, you didn't say he might be the best player, but who did I pick for the NL MVP this year?
Bryce Harper, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a chance. Bryce Harper is going to hit more home runs than the Atlanta Braves. There's just a chance.
Well,
I'm not saying he's going to.
They have 4 right now, right?
I don't remember their exact number, but I know that in the past 7 games at one point, he had hit 8 home runs, and they had 1. So, again, they have a lot of chance to catch up, but there's a chance.
Braves are bad. But one thing you could say...
By the way, McCutchen hit 3 bombs the other day.
Yeah, I know. I watched it.
Oh, my apologies. I forgot. Scotty watches all baseball. He has like this little like thing where he puts it on his face, and it's like it turns him into like a fly with like a million eyes, and he watches all baseball at once.
Yeah. No,
I'm sorry, you're the only one that does.
No,
that.
I'm just a normal guy who flips back and forth. That's what normal.
Between 75 channels.
Yeah.
How many baseball games are on every day?
Yeah.
Every baseball team plays every day.
I
you have an off day.
usually watch the Red Sox. I watch the Orioles. I watch the Yankees. I usually check in on the Nats.
Scotty has seen every AL East game since like 1970.
I wasn't alive then.
You went back and watched.
But one thing I was going to say that you could say in Williams' defense, you can't say for Ruth. Ruth didn't lose 3 prime years to war. That's big.
Well, who else did out of the all-time greats?
Ted Williams won 2 Triple Crowns.
And didn't win MVP the year.
I know, but
absurd.
Which is an absurd stat. But he could have won like 3 or 4 Triple Crowns.
He may have lost his best years to the war. There's no way to prove that.
Well, the other thing, too, assuming that he stayed here and didn't go to war and was facing the thinner pitching.
The thinner herd.
No, the thinner pitching.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, the numbers he would have put up. And actually,
maybe he wins a World Series.
I don't know. They didn't.
They didn't have a good team back at that time, exactly.
Well, DiMaggio, Dorr, and Pesky would have been at war. This is assuming Williams is here playing.
By the way, Dom DiMaggio is extremely underrated.
I don't know why he's not in the Hall of Fame, but
he probably should.
But let me make this point.
That's the extremely underrated.
My father thinks that Pesky should be in the Hall of Fame because Joe Gordon's in the Hall of Fame, and Pesky actually had a better career.
Yeah, I don't think Pesky should. I don't think Joe Gordon should. I mean, if this is the Basketball Hall of Fame, I'd say let him in because everyone gets in.
Yeah, everyone gets in.
I mean, shit, I'm in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Vince Carter's going to get in.
Vince Carter's going to get in. But Pesky does not deserve to be a Hall of Famer. And my dad knew Pesky. Knew Pesky because he knew Pesky's
great guy.
Nephew.
I met him a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I was at Salem State. He was in the Salem Diner every morning.
Oh, dude, he lived up the street in Swampscott. Yeah, down that street right past, the fuck is it, Trader Joe's.
Yeah. But for the people who didn't get a chance to meet Johnny Pesky, you missed out because he was just a wonderful person. I love the guy. But it was great talking baseball with him. I had the chance to do that a few times.
What about Joe Morgan?
Oh, at the World Series? He warmed up to us by the end of the night.
Scotty sat in front of Joe Morgan at the World Series?
No, right next to him.
Well, next to him. I thought it was in front. I couldn't remember. He talked to him all day.
No, it was
his photos with him. He was like, yeah, me and Joe Morgan were like...
No, I think he was like annoyed at first, but then when I started talking baseball with him, he was like, "Oh, he's not just like some honk," and he warmed up to me a little bit. But he was pretty cool. But what I was gonna say about Williams, and I don't know what the classes are, but I think he was class like 3A or something in 1942 because he was the sole supporter of his mother, even though he hadn't seen his mother in like 3 years. So he actually could have dodged the war, but he decided to go and fight. And that's why Ted Williams is a John Wayne of sports. John Wayne was playing a role that Ted Williams was. But yeah, there he is. Joe Morgan.
Well, there's your brother.
Yeah, but who's that right next to him?
Joe Morgan.
Morgan
There's your
Mac.
brother who looks ridiculous in that photo, by the way.
He's an idiot. He's a Red Sox fan. That basically makes him an
Oh,
idiot.
wow.
But
There goes the rest of our listeners if we had any left.
yeah, don't worry about it.
I'm not.
So we got we were talking about the Celtics at one point, right?
Probably always.
Okay.
Always talk about the Celtics.
So you want for those who didn't, the lottery is in just about 2 weeks, May 17th, a couple weeks away. As you may or may not know, when your team is in the lottery, you get to send a representative there when they announce the picks. The Celtics are sending Isaiah Thomas. Now, they sent Red in 1986 when they had that choice pick, which ended up being biased. Red got the second pick. You know why? Good karma. He's Red Auerbach. 1997, which is a fork in the road in Celtic history, sent them all Carr.
Horrible karma.
Red was still alive. Sent them out. What was he going to wave a towel if they got the first pick? Really?
No, he was going to tank.
Like,
I'm going to throw that pick back in and tank.
07, you really can't. I mean, I didn't have an issue with Heinsohn going in 07. He has 10 championships. I
thought it could have brought me a Tommy point, but he didn't.
Okay, and I don't even know who they sent 2 years ago.
I don't remember. We
Couldn't-
watched it too. I can't even remember.
Couldn't tell you.
It was like someone's daughter's son's friend dog. Or something like that.
Yeah, it was a
Like,
dog.
what the hell?
It's like he's like taking a shit on the
See
podium.
that shit too with the Celtics representative. But Scotty wants to send the immortal.
William Felton Russell. They have never sent Bill Russell. Wouldn't that make
You wanna
sense?
know why? He never loses Game 7.
They're like, he's not allowed.
He's not
They'll
allowed.
get the first pick.
But to that point, and I maybe they probably would get the first pick, at least the second if it was Bill Russell. I want Larry Bird at all the Celtics games he can be at, particularly the playoffs.
Dude,
I
Larry
know what you're gonna say.
works for the Pacers.
I understand that. I don't give a shit. Send him anyways.
If the Pacers
Make him come here.
If the Pacers were in the lottery, it's like the Indiana Pacers.
I'm not sending Larry Bird to the lottery. No, I'm not sending him to the lottery. I want him at
No,
home
you said
playoff
that earlier.
games. No, I want him at home playoff games.
No, you said you were like, I don't care. I want him in the
I
lottery.
want him everywhere. No, but I want him at
It's
home
like,
playoff games.
It's like representing the Indiana Pacers, Larry Bird. Representing the. He's like
Boston
shuffles over like for the Boston Celtics, Larry Bird.
Larry's like, Indiana will trade the pick they just won to the Celtics for nothing.
No, it's not McHale. Kevin would do it.
Yeah, Kevin.
Kevin probably said no 7. I'm getting fired anyway. I might as well help the Celtics out. But
I don't know. Are there any other former Celtics that can trade us anything right now?
Sam Presti is actually from Boston, the GM of the Oklahoma State Thunder.
he's not helping us.
Yeah,
though.
I know.
He wouldn't even trade us Harden when we wanted him.
Yeah, can you blame him?
Oh no, we got Jeff Green. I mean, how awesome was that?
Oh, great. Oh, by the way, Paul Pierce is likely playing his last game ever tonight, and I do want to watch some of that.
Well, you're gonna be like, oh, Doc Rivers, blah blah
And
blah.
I hope this is Paul's last game because he can't play anymore. I watched him the other night, and I just... What are you doing?
Not caring about the NFL draft.
I thought for a second you were going to see if the Patriots had made that selection.
Nope. I want to see the NBA.
Oh, Miami's up 9 at the half. Try to force a Game 7 at home.
Miami's gonna force a Game 7. They're probably gonna win that series. Ooh, Indiana's beating Toronto.
Yeah,
Paul George is the best player in that series.
big surprise. No, he is.
That's the thing I tried
By
to
the-
tell you with Isaiah Thomas. Now, granted, he didn't play well all the time. I still think
Well,
he
he
was the
had
best player
like
in the
3
series.
guys on him. That's what I keep telling people.
Yeah, they had to.
He was hurt, and there were 3 guys on
They
him.
couldn't stop him.
Isaiah was finding guys open shots for 3 games.
But it was
and
like
they couldn't
me.
hit him.
So
No,
right.
if they had you out there, they would have won.
That's right. I'm a white guy. I can shoot. You know, I'm like Kyle Korver, but not as good.
But I don't know. I think Pierre should retire. I think he will retire.
I think Garnett should have retired like 7 years ago.
Garnett?
I think the ghost of Garnett should have retired 2 years ago. And the shadow of the ghost of Garnett should have retired last year. But apparently he just wants to keep playing forever. They're going to roll out Garnett's coffin in Minnesota and be like, look at Timberwolves mascot, Garnett.
Dude, they don't need him anymore. They got Cat.
I'm telling you, Wiggins is still going to be a
Dude,
beast.
thank God that the Lakers didn't win the lottery last year because Karl Anthony Towns is a beast.
Wiggins is going to be a beast.
He is a beast.
Yeah.
I
tried to tell you that.
I don't know.
I think we have a wing bet on that, by the way. I mean, I know I owe you two sets of 10 wings now.
No, we didn't.
I officially owe you 20 wings now.
We didn't.
I was looking at some bets the other day.
No, we didn't make.
We had a bet. We had a bet that if Aaron Gordon was the best player in the draft. Now this was a one-way bet.
No, I remember that one.
That I'd get like 500 wings.
And you already can't win that back because Wiggins is better.
But you know what? If Aaron Gordon had won a slam dunk contest, I should have got the.
That makes him a great player.
Automatic Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, like the new Vince Carter. But
Vince could hit a jump shot.
Yeah, not really. He was okay.
Yeah, he was a good.
Let's look at Miami Charlotte box score here. Oh, Deng's killing it. 16 points at the half. Joe Johnson's got 6. I mean, Dwayne Wade. I don't know. Nothing super impressive, but kind of made sense. This is not a team of... By the way, did you know that Whiteside is a free agent after this year?
I just found that out.
That's incredible. Me telling you or somebody else?
No,
Did you just get a Raven?
No.
Someone sent you some mail.
No,
How'd you find it out?
Huh?
The NFL fucking little app told you?
No, somebody told me. And...
He's not going to sign here, but I'm just saying. There's a chance.
That would be nice.
If you could sign, say, Whiteside and Durant.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're in business.
Oh.
You're in business. But that ain't going to happen.
Oh. Who's the best white player in the league?
None of them.
I guess Kevin Love. We're getting him.
No, Gordon Hayward.
Think he's better than Love?
At this point, yeah.
Do you think that's just because of Love's situation?
I've soured on Love. He's soft. Doesn't play a lick of D.
Well, he doesn't get along with LeBron, which makes me automatically like him at least a little bit. I mean, I'll take Chris Bosh on this team too now. Give me Chris Bosh and Kevin Love.
Chris Bosh with all his friggin' blood clots.
He hates LeBron. That's all that matters to me.
He doesn't hate him.
He highly dislikes him. He had a lot of shit to say after he left.
Like what? I don't even remember.
I don't remember at this time either, but he was not happy.
No, he was not happy, I think, because he took less to keep LeBron, and then LeBron bolted, I think is what it was.
Yeah, and he had some shit to say. Yeah. I forget what it was exactly, but...
Pacers are up, what are they up? 7 after 3. So, force a game 7 in Toronto, and you know that Lowry and DeRozan and all those guys will pee all over themselves.
Now, real quick...
Because they did that in game 5, and they somehow pulled it out of their ass.
Golden State Warriors have like 3 horseshoes up their ass.
Yeah.
Because I know Steph Curry is injured.
If there was one team... the Clippers healthy, they could have beaten them if he was out that whole series. I know you may disagree, but I thought they had
a healthy Clippers team.
A healthy Clippers team
could have beaten Golden State without Curry.
If Blake and CP3 and all those guys, even though I don't like them, those guys were healthy.
They could have won.
Yes.
Even with Doc as a coach. Yes. I agree. Now, they don't have either of their best 2 players. Portland's a shit team. No, they're decent. Portland's like the Celtics of the West. Except they play in the West.
Except they can shoot.
Oh, but your best player's not injured yet. Have McCollum go down.
Dude, did you watch those last 2 games? I don't care if...
Okay, let's say Damian Lillard just misses a series. How's the rest of that offense going to look?
I'm pretty sure that they could hit the open looks that the Celtics were getting. Couldn't.
There's not going to be open looks if Damian Lillard misses the series. Avery Bradley, again, was your best 2-way player. I'm not saying he's your best player.
Chris.
I actually think he's your third best
Chris.
player. He's your best 2-way player.
Chris.
Scott.
8 guys were guarding Isaiah. He would give it up. There'd be 4 wide open guys on the perimeter.
That's why we lost. Atlanta was allowed 3 extra people on the court.
They could pick who they wanted to shoot. Okay? They had that much time. No one was guarding those guys. And they couldn't knock it down. It reminded me of watching Rondo in the finals. Phil Jackson didn't even bother to guard him.
You know what happened? Rondo got better and better.
Yeah, sure he did. So we just learned of the Pats selection.
Breaking news, from our stat boy. Came downstairs. The Patriots have selected Cyrus Jones.
From Alabama.
So he sucks.
Alabama's a
I know, but
factory,
the stat guy just told us, Mel Kiper and everyone were going crazy. This is Todd McShay. This is the best pick out of all of them. They
so
like,
that means that he's going to be
he sucks. I guess we were also told he's the best special teamer in the draft. So
because you don't have
that.
Matthew Slater got cut or he died.
No, but just best special teamer in the draft. Let's see his draft grade. Well, look at that. Look at that.
Get that off my computer.
No, I want.
No, it's NFL. Get it off my computer.
It's got a Patriot logo. We can look at it as a Patriot logo. His grade was a 5.57. He's 5'10". Weaknesses: doesn't check the height or length box. Blah, 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 blah. So
they had it projected to go round 3. You went round 3.
I don't care. That's fine. Maybe a nickel.
NFL comparison. Is that our Steve Nelson or a different Steven Nelson?
I don't know. I'm like, that's not even the right position.
Yeah. Steve Nelson was a linebacker.
Like NFL comparison, Michael Orr. I'm like, fuck, he's a quarterback. I don't know.
I can't tell you a damn thing about this guy because I don't watch enough college football and I didn't read any draft.
We talked about how we completely and I guess the second pick of the Patriots was traded for an extra 3rd and 4th, so we get an extra bunch of picks.
That's what Bill does. He trades out.
Well, see, that's good though, because now Bill can have more chances to hit a single instead of hitting a home run, which I'm fine with that. He didn't have a first round pick. I mean, he doesn't need like crazy amounts of stud players. He just needs depth and decent guys. Got no issues with that at all.
So yeah, that's basically it. Do you want to move on to baseball?
Yeah, why not? Well, let's talk about hockey. Ready? Hockey.
I
got nothing else to say.
All right, let's move on to baseball.
Completely all set with talking about the Bruins.
No, I have nothing to say on the Bruins. I have watched some Stanley Cup playoff games, and I mean, it's cliche, but every game is good.
Look, and I heard this the other day, and I actually believe it, and it makes sense. And I actually would agree with it to some extent. The NHL playoffs overall, from start to finish, may be the best playoffs.
Probably.
Okay, the Stanley Cup playoffs. However, they have a tendency to sometimes even get worse as the rounds go on. As teams get beat up, and
it's really
some teams get hot and some
injuries,
teams get just destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay? The NBA playoffs is the exact opposite. It sucks in the first round, but it gets better as it goes on. Generally.
The Western Conference Finals is going to be great. Assuming Curry plays.
I think
By the way, that's a huge break for them because you're going to get a Portland team.
Oh, yeah, we never finished talking about that.
You're going to own. Curry's got 3 weeks to rest. They don't need him to beat Portland in 5 or 6 games.
Nope.
They don't.
ESPN, not that I ever go on this website anymore because they generally don't.
They have NHL behind soccer.
Yeah, it goes NFL, NBA, MLB.
NFL's number 1. That's a
NCAA football, soccer, and then NHL. I mean, I like soccer as an American comparatively. Soccer is no.
So I'm an un-American pig, is what you're saying?
No.
Soccer.
For an American, I actually like soccer more than most Americans. Like, I'm big on MMA. You could care less about MMA.
I don't even know what that is.
Mixed martial arts. John Bones Jones.
I'd watch that over soccer.
Tank Abbott. You would? You'd watch?
Yeah, it's better than a guy running down the field. He doesn't get hit. He doesn't get grazed, and he goes down like he was hit by a sniper.
Cristiano Ronaldo's a beast, dude. You don't have to like him, but he's a beast.
I don't like him, dislike him. Oh, here's Tyler. If my phone would work. Yeah.
Update from our email group, text group.
So who the fuck is Cyrus Jones? By the way, that's awesome. His name is Cyrus because it reminds me of the guy from the Warriors who got shot in the first game.
Warriors!
Come out to play!
Now, does Golden State play that at games? Because they should. Because I didn't hear that played.
I don't know.
You should play that every time.
You notice that the Celtics were never the same after they knocked off Golden State? They never played that well again.
Oh, that was their best game. I don't understand you. Do you know that after their best year, every player wasn't as good again? That's basically what you're telling me. Like, I'm like, yeah, but the conclusion.
I don't get it.
What do you mean you don't get it? What do you mean you don't get it?
What?
You're like, that was their best game. They were never as good again. That's how that works, Scotty.
Well, no. What I'm
They
saying,
beat Golden State on the road.
They didn't.
Minus Jay Crowder. That was like possibly the best win by any team not named Golden State all year.
Yeah, but
actually, that was the best win in the NBA this season.
Okay,
mediocre Celtics team.
I said that
slightly better than mediocre.
I misspoke.
Without one of their best players, went to an undefeated at home Golden State team chasing a record and beat them down. Well, they didn't beat them down, but they beat them at home.
They should have blown them out. They missed like 12 free throws.
I get that. That's why they didn't beat them down though. But that was the best win in the entire NBA this season. It was the win of the year. So why didn't they have a better game than that? Well, because that was the win of the year, Scotty. That's how that works.
Wow.
What's the matter here?
Report: 3 NFL owners want Goodell out.
Nah.
Well, we know who one of them is. Who are the other two?
Kraft. Bob Kraft, Jonathan Kraft, and Myra.
She's dead.
I understand. They're putting their vote in anyways. Listen, unless it has names, I don't care.
I don't like him, one owner said. I think it's time for a new commissioner. I wish these guys would have some balls to go on the record. Just once. About anything.
The problem now is you can't go on the record. Because then the Emperor is going to steal your draft picks. So you can't do that. You can't be against him in Article 46. Remember that. But my issue here is this, and we talked about it a little bit. The NFL actually lost here. Because even though the Emperor has won, we all now know the Emperor has no clothes.
Okay? This is what another owner said. He's a figurehead that makes a lot more than the people risking their lives and futures every snap when he's on his couch watching the games.
Tell you right now, that's a lie. No owner ever said that because the owners don't give a shit about the NFL players. Read that again.
You want me to read it again?
Read it again because no NFL owner said this ever. Mark my words.
This is what preceded it, by the way. A third owner took umbrage with Goodell's salary, which was estimated at about $34 million for last year. Imagine that.
And he's gone down. He was making like almost 50 before.
Yeah, but imagine making
like
$34 million to be literally the worst person in America at your job.
That's what I tried to tell Tyler earlier, by the way.
What?
In our email chain. That sometimes like you're not getting paid based on how good you are. Like your compensation doesn't meet how good you are actually at your job. And it's not all about like working hard and being like competent. Not only do I think Goodell doesn't work hard, I don't think he's competent. Okay?
Yeah.
And he's way above the level.
Yeah,
what's that? The Peters principle.
You know what the problem is, though? The 29 other owners, other than these 3, they love him because all they see is dollar signs, and that's all they care about.
Dude.
They don't care if the sport is a laughing stock. They don't care if they're risking the lives of their players.
If I sold you queer giraffes, okay? Have you seen the movie Gladiator?
No.
Oh,
yeah, I have.
If I've sold you queer giraffes.
Russell Crowe, right?
He's like, you sold me queer giraffes. Is the guy that owns Russell Crowe and he's a gladiator, Proximo. He's like, because the giraffes wouldn't fucking breed. He was like, if I sold you queer giraffes, Scotty, they would run the NFL better than Roger Goodell. Okay? If I sold you queer giraffes, not just regular giraffes, queer giraffes. I don't even know where the fuck you find queer giraffes, if there's even such thing as gay giraffes. I don't fucking know. But if I sold you queer giraffes, they would run the league better than Goodell. Alright? It's that simple. I run the league better than Goodell right now, but I don't run the league at all. Because I'm not hurting it.
But to fulfill your request, I'll repeat that. He's a figurehead that makes a lot more than the people risking their lives and futures every snap when he's on his couch watching the games.
Again, I don't believe that any NFL owner said that because they actually cared about an NFL player for a second. And that never happens.
Here was another quote from another owner.
Actually, that could have been Bob Kraft. If they're quoting him third.
I said that tongue-in-cheek. I actually don't think Kraft was one of them.
You gotta be. Yeah, Kraft's like, he's doing a great job. Take more picks, buddy.
He is, because he has no balls.
Kraft's like, do you realize how powerful he is?
If Jonathan counts, maybe Jonathan was
That's
one
what I said. Bob, Jonathan, and Myra. But you know what? Kraft's probably like this. You know how good he is? He just won in court. Article 46. We're like, dude, that's Sven and Brady. Article 46. Article 46.
Here's another quote. He's doing things to make himself known, whereas past commissioners have acted only to make the league better. He is creating too many rules that make the game uninteresting. He can be accurately compared to our massive federal government. Whoever that guy is nailed it.
Gotta be Richardson.
I have nothing to add.
Carolina.
I have nothing to add.
Could be Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, glory hole.
Jerry Jones would never be that eloquent.
No, yeah, Jerry Jones, it would have been, I have the best commissioner. No, like, glory hole.
Jerry Jones would be like, Aaron Hernandez. Is he available?
No, Jerry Jones would have said,
Aaron Hernandez
I had the best commissioner. Go back to the Tagliabue days. Glory hole. You'd be like, oh, is that Jerry Jones?
By the way, watch Frank Caliendo imitate Jerry Jones.
Frank Caliendo imitated everybody's best. It was the best when you used to imitate Madden, and Madden would get pissed on air. And like Caliendo was like on the same set as him. And
He actually came around, actually.
Yeah, it took him a while though. He used to get pissed on air. That was the best. I mean, Madden used to be like, the object of the game is to score more than your opponent, and then just circle random things. You're like, dude, what are you doing?
By the way, that's ridiculous that these guys have the balls to complain about his salary when they're the ones that pay him.
He's gotten less and less the past few years.
Oh, yeah, he's going hungry. $34 million a year.
You know that the police in Maine had to protect his house the other day? After they won in court?
I don't know why he hasn't moved.
I think you should be able to pass a law. I'm sure you can. I mean, they banned all, Sarah Hutchinson's relatives and descendants from ever living in the state of Connecticut or Massachusetts, one of the two, I forget. But they should just vote to ban Roger Goodell from our states. Why can't we do that? You can make a law. Roger Goodell is not allowed in these states.
I don't think he should be allowed on the planet.
No.
Shoot him into the center of the sun.
We're going to take this to New England hard, okay? All of New England should vote to pass laws that Roger Goodell is not allowed in the states.
Article 47.
Article 47.
Here's another quote from Scalabrini talking about the Celtics free agency. I know we're kind of jumping around
Porcello,
here.
by the way, 4-0 with a 3.51 ERA.
Clay Buchholz, winless, 0-3, baby.
Oh, he's holding the team down.
Oh.
2-2, by the way.
Oh, you wait.
Bottom of the 8th. 6 hits to 6 hits.
By the way, you watch. You watch. He'll get like a blister on his finger and say his shoulder hurts, and he'll be on the DL before you know it. It's coming.
So he's going to Joe Kelly it?
Yeah.
I was at that game. He got hurt, by the way.
I know you were.
I was like, no, hilarious. I'm sitting there like this. He's throwing like low 90s, and I'm like, listen. I'm like, for some reason, Joe Kelly always sucks in the cold. I'm like, his velocity's always down in the beginning of the year. He can't pitch in the cold. I'm like, I hope he doesn't rear back because he's going to end up pulling something. Next pitcher was like 94, 95 miles per hour, and suddenly his shoulder was gone, and I'm like, blew out his shoulder.
But I've played baseball in March, April. I played in the cold.
It's harder to play.
It's impossible to get loose.
That's the thing. But Kelly, I don't know if he's because he's part Mexican or he played in warmer climates before or what. He can't play in the cold.
He's a Mick, dude. Kelly, he's Irish.
He's friggin' Ted Williams. He's half Irish, half Mexican.
No, Williams was like Basque, I think.
I thought he was. No,
whatever.
Williams was Mexican, dude. Williams' mother was Mexican.
She was, yeah. Benzer. But this is a quote from Scal talking about the Celtics, and it actually leads right into what we were talking about earlier. Scal says, quote, "You have cap space, you have draft picks, so you should be excited moving forward." Now it all comes down to where the ping pong balls drop.
No. See, I looked it up real quick.
Hold on. If
Williams is Welsh and Irish on his father's side. I knew he was part Irish. Mexican on his mother's side with Spanish, Russian, and American Indian roots. Because, I mean, fucking all.
So he was everything.
Mexicans is Spanish, and you were right, Basque Spanish, but Spanish and American Indian is what every fucking Mexican is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you're Mexican.
All right.
The Spanish moved over there, raped some American Indian women, and then they made Mexican people.
So here's what Scal said. You have cap space, you have draft picks, so you should be excited moving forward. Now it all comes down to where the ping pong balls drop. If they drop and we're 1, 2, or 3, that is a valuable asset. Disagree with Scal a little bit.
You don't like 3.
I don't like 3.
I know.
They then asked who we could trade for with a high pick. Here's the name if it's 1, 2, or 3. Chicago trades you Jimmy Butler. They want to sell the idea that they can rebuild, and they can rebuild with the top 3 pick. Once you get Jimmy Butler, then you get who? Kevin Durant. That's what Scal said.
So he thinks Jimmy Butler over Kevin Durant?
No. You get Jimmy Butler first, which causes him to want to come here. Now, could you get Jimmy Butler with the top 3 pick? I think you get him with 1 or 2. I don't know about 3. I don't know if Chicago does that at 3. Because
I heard Chicago's not.
Right, but if it's 3, you're talking about Josh Bender. You're talking about Buddy Hield.
It's not going to be just the 3rd. It's going to be, you listen, you're going to end up kicking the 3rd pick overall with Marcus Smart, another first-round pick.
I don't think Ainge's going to. Ainge and Stevens love him. I don't think he's going anywhere. Yeah.
Dude, Smart's gone.
I don't think he's gone.
I told you, a lot of other people are high on Smart. You know what? Smart's a fucking bum. Someone just hit a home run. At Ortiz?
Yeah, Big
Poppy just hit a home run.
Why is he retiring? I don't get it.
4th homer of the season. Oh, he's not doing incredible. He's still doing well, but hit a bunch of doubles the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, in that regard, I guess he's doing incredible.
By the way, I do have to say something. I got to give Hanley Ramirez a lot of credit. He's playing a good first base.
Well, yeah, I said that last week, I think.
And as someone who's, when I played, I made a transition over to first base. First base is not easy to learn if you've never played there. There's a lot that goes into it.
You got to Scotty's played first base.
I have played first base.
You understand? It's way different.
When I couldn't throw a baseball anymore, I had to go to first or I couldn't play. That's the way it is. No DH in high school.
There should be, though. In American League high school, there should be a DH. If you live in an American League area, there's a DH.
If you're in a National League high school, you gotta pitcher's gonna hit. But yeah, it's not easy to learn. So good for him. I mean, because he could always hit. It was just a struggle. Where are you gonna put him in the field? It looks like he's found a home there at first base. He's been more than adequate. But Cedric Maxwell does not want DeMarcus Cousins on the Celtics.
I'm not a huge fan of DeMarcus Cousins either, but if it gets Durant, I just told you, if it gets Durant, I'm okay.
What is it that you don't like about Boogie?
His head.
You think he would act up here? You really do? I don't think he would. I think he is in a toxic situation out there.
Oh, because fucking Rondo's there?
This has nothing to do with Rondo. They were fucked up before Rondo went there.
Oh, dude, part of the reason they fucked up is because of Boogie.
Rondo actually had a really nice season.
Rondo should get money. He should get paid somewhere.
He would be the best player on the Celtics right now. Hands down.
He would. I told you that.
I'm agreeing with you.
He's still a good player. You think he sucks, and granted he sucked in Dallas that year, which that cost me a wing.
Well,
yeah. But
we got to go soon, by the way.
I know. Listen, say Rondo went to. I'm trying to think of a team that's good that can afford him because I don't know one off the top of my head. Rondo goes to Minnesota. Does he help?
They don't need him. They got Rubio. Do I think
Is Rondo better than Rubio? I don't think Rubio's that good.
I do think Rondo's better. Here's where Rondo's going to go. You know where he's going to go?
What pays him the most money?
No.
L.A.?
No. The New York Knickerbockers.
Because he likes Madison Square Garden?
He's like that with Carmelo.
Well, it makes sense. A guy that only passes to a guy that never passes?
What could go wrong? And Phil Jackson's, basically not as bad as Patino, but pretty damn bad as a GM. So
not as bad as Isaiah Thomas, though. I mean, obviously not our Isaiah Thomas, because our Isaiah Thomas is better than that Isaiah Thomas as a GM.
Yeah, but that Isaiah Thomas was a better player than our Isaiah Thomas. But yeah, Patino's the worst GM in the history of NBA basketball. Worse than Billy King.
I think I'd be a pretty good GM. I really do.
You'd be better than Patino.
Oh, yeah.
Patino was the worst.
By far better than Patino.
The funny thing is, Patino, when people called Patino out, on his failures as a GM, he was like, I drafted Paul Pierce. He was supposed to go 2 or 3 in that draft. He fell to 10. That doesn't count.
Oh.
That doesn't count.
I thought someone else did something, but it was just replay of Ortiz's home run again.
What is it, 3-2 in the 8th?
4-2 now.
4-2 in the 8th?
Yeah.
Good.
Now,
but
let's go into baseball a little bit.
I just want to make another point about Patino.
Yeah, you fucking hate him.
No.
Louisville.
I don't know if...
Sex and restaurants.
No, dude, I don't know if you... that's actually pretty funny. But, no, I have no problem with him being a sex addict. But he set the... By the way,
You think him and Tiger Woods ever fucked the same chick?
At the same time?
No, not at the same time. No, I didn't ask that. Just the same chick in general.
Yeah,
there's got to be a decent probability, right?
Well, I think both guys just put their dick into anything that moves, so yeah.
You know what's odd if you think about it?
What's that?
Probably know someone that's fucked the same chick that Wilt has fucked.
We know someone?
We probably know someone, just some random older gentleman. We don't know who it is, and they probably don't know, who shall not be named, that just randomly happened to have sex with someone that Wilt had sex with. Because Wilt had sex with so many people. Boston is an NBA city. We know a lot of Boston old folks.
Like Tom DeLucia. His kid is really Wilt's kid.
No, that kid looks just like Tom DeLucia.
Yeah, I know. Well, he has another son.
Yeah, his other son's Wilt's kid. I mean, we don't know. And I don't even mean someone's wife fucked Wilt. I just meant randomly happened to sleep with a slut.
I'm just saying, you see Tom DeLucia's other son?
Doesn't look like Tom.
He's like 6'5" and mulatto looking. It could be Wilt. could be one of the 20,000.
Oh, you call you the Little Dipper.
No, I was just kidding. Even though I know Tom listens to our show and he's going to be pissed now.
Yeah, Tom listens all right. He's like, ah!
Troy,
That dude hasn't taken a shower since he retired from Atlas Glenmore, all right?
Troy, you got to pick a dental plan. I'm not fucking picking one. Get away from me.
You gotta pick one! I'm not picking one! This is the best. This is the best.
Dude, Troy was pissed.
I know people have no idea what we're talking about, but it's an awesome argument.
Troy listens to it. I'll get a chuckle out of that.
Yeah.
But,
No, it sucks. Farrell's gonna keep his job.
I don't care. I want you to.
Well, you should care.
I don't know.
What we're talking about next.
I don't know, dude. I don't know if you remember this. I remember this. Patino's a GM. He calls a press conference. No one knows what it's about. It looks like they signed a free agent or made a trade for a star or a really good player that's gonna, play with Pierce and Walker and whatnot. We're thinking, oh, maybe they got like Vin Baker, and this is back when Vin Baker was off the sauce, and he was actually like a perennial all-star.
Well, they did get Vin Baker.
No, I'm talking. This is like '98. I'm talking like, oh, maybe they got like Vin Baker. Adrian Griffin. They held a press conference for Adrian Griffin.
Back then, that was the best they were gonna do, Scotty.
Patino's the worst GM in the history of the NBA.
We got rid of Chauncey Billups nice and quick.
For Kenny Anderson in his massive contract, who was past his prime and played no D.
I am glad I have Danny Ainge.
Danny's better than Patino by light years.
Oh, it's not even close.
Light years.
That's another thing we talk about. I mean,
I know you rip on Danny.
great players,
sometimes.
great GMs, great coaches don't grow in my pear tree. Okay? We've been over
I
that.
wouldn't even say Danny's a great GM. I think he's
borderline.
He's okay.
No. And again, listen, this is just crazy talk, but I used to, not as much anymore. I have a kid. I'm back in school. I'm fucking busy as shit. I used to go on basketball websites and football all day, every day. But basketball websites particularly, people like to go in forums, and we do all-time drafts. Now, sometimes they do current only. Sometimes they do all-time. But current only drafts where you build an organization. And so you're allowed to pick. You have, like, people will be like, someone will set the rules.
That actually sounds fun.
They'll set the rules, and they'll be like, all right, there's 12 of us. Everyone has to pick 2 shooting guards, 2 small forwards, 2 of this, 1 center, 2 backup players, and a coach and a GM and an assistant coach.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone goes from there. And I'm letting you know right now, Danny Ainge, commonly and constantly picked in at least the top 5 of GMs. I mean, so was Sam Presti, so were a couple other guys, but Ainge was almost always picked as one of the top GMs in the league.
No, Danny's a good GM.
He's very good. Just like Doc was always picked as one of the early coaches. I mean, obviously, people would obviously take Pop first if they could, and when Phil Jackson's in the league, people take Phil Jackson. It makes sense.
Not as a GM. Maybe as a coach.
As a coach.
He's a horrible GM. Oh, what a bum. People aren't coming to New York because you guys are negative in the press. Like, no, they're not coming to New York because no one wants to do the triangle. And when I say nobody...
They have money problems,
nobody.
cap issues.
Yeah, that's because this
They still have Isaiah Thomas cap issues.
No, that's because this idiot gave Melo like $35 million a year with a no-trade clause.
Just a few years ago, someone was still paying Steve Francis like $20 million a year.
I think it was the Rockets, wasn't it?
Is Mo Vaughn still making money? Or is it Bobby Bonilla?
The Celtics this
One of them is still making money.
I think it's Bonilla because he signed like a
30-year deal.
Like a 30-year deal, gets $1 million a year or something.
Yeah.
But which is actually smart. Because if you go bankrupt, here's $1 million.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to waste it. Can you just save this for me? Thanks.
I'm pretty sure that Rick Fox just came off the Celtics books like last year. Which is why they got all this cap. They got all this cap space this summer because Rick Fox is finally off the books.
Well, Rick Fox finally came off the books. We can now get a free agent. Yeah. He actually turned into a decent player for the Lakers too, by the way.
No, good role player. But no, Danny's a good GM. I've always said Danny's a good GM.
Holy shit, we're going to read this for a second.
All right, go ahead.
Bobby Bonilla and his sweet contract to the New York Mets, okay? Every July 1st since 2011, the New York Mets pay former outfielder Bobby Bonilla $1.2 million. They'll be paying him until 2035.
How did he pull that off?
Dude, that's 19 years from now.
How did he pull that off?
Actually, he still hasn't got paid yet this year. He has 20 fucking years of payments left. It's like he won the fucking New York Mets lottery. They're like, oh, yeah, woo!
And that goes to show, I know they won the pennant last year, but that's all you need to know about how dysfunctional the Mets are. Jesus.
Who the hell signed that? Omar Minaya?
I don't know. I know it wasn't Angelos. Angelos would never do that. He wouldn't sign Bryce Harper.
Angelos would be like, I'll give you one Coca-Cola once a year for 50 years.
And I'll give you half a line. Dude, if they could have Bryce Harper, it's like, I'll play for $1 million. Angelos would be like, $1 million, I got to think about it.
That reminds me of the Bird negotiations. When he had hardcore negotiations with Red before he got in the league. They wanted to be the highest paid player ever before he even got in the league. And then they ended up signing him a pretty good deal, but not the highest ever, because like, Red was like, you haven't even played a game in the league yet.
No,
and then Bird goes, I would have played for free.
I forgot to tell Mr. Auerbach, but I would have played for nothing. Free. No, but the funny thing was, they got Larry's deal done. And Red hated agents. He was notorious for this. He would always say, "Get the fuck out." But
now Red thinks Bird was better than Russell. You agree?
Red never said that.
You think Larry Bird was the greatest player ever? That's what Russell Albrecht said about Larry.
I never heard that quote, and I've heard just about every quote. But
look it up
really quickly. So they got the contract done, and Larry's agent says Larry should get another bonus if he makes the All-Rookie team. And Red looked at him. He goes, "Do I look stupid? We're paying this guy the highest contract of any rookie in the history of basketball, and he's not going to make the All-Rookie team? You think I'm an idiot?" I don't know. There's a lot of good Red stories. There was a story that like in the early 60s, he told Heinsohn to quit smoking because he was getting him winded, like going up and down the court, because the Celtics were a fast break machine in the early 60s. So like Heinsohn agreed, and he didn't smoke. And he had like 4 or 5 really bad games in a row. Auerbach threw like a carton of cigarettes at him in the locker room. So yeah, stop smoking again.
It's like I said, fucking shoot up that heroin if it gets us wins.
Oh man.
Obviously they didn't do that. That's not even a funny joke. I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to find it right now. We'll have to look for it later.
I'll look for it. We'll look for it next week. I've never heard that.
I'm pretty sure
I've heard Bob Cousy say that.
Now listen.
I've heard Kuz say that he thinks Bird was the greatest player ever, all around. I've never heard Red say
Especially
that.
at the time he retired, he might have been. I mean, no one was... When Bird retired, he was top 40 in points all time, top 40 in rebounds, and top 40 in assists. And no one was at that plateau on each one.
I'm not going to say he was better, because I don't think he was, but I honestly think that Magic and Larry did more than Jordan.
I think that's hard to say, because, again, I showed you that season where he played point guard.
I get that.
And he was like 32, 8, and 8. That's 32, 8, and 8, Scotty. That's pretty fucking good. That's a little bit... And, by the way, played infinitely better defense than either one of those guys, even though Larry was a good defender. So, when you're getting 32 points,
you could argue that
8 rebounds, 8 assists per game, and you're possibly the top 5 to 3 defender of the league, yeah, you're probably better than those guys.
That's a little...
And I love those guys. I like them more than Jordan, but Jordan's the best player ever. That's what people are like, oh, look at Jordan. So what? He won 6 championships. That was 6 MVPs. Yeah, you know who leads the all-time scoring in the playoffs? Yeah, Michael Jordan. You know who has the most points per game in playoff games? Oh, Michael Jordan. You know who has the most points per game in regular games? Yeah, Michael Jordan. You know who has the most points per game in rec league games? Yeah, Michael Jordan. You know who has the most points per game in games he doesn't show up? Yeah, Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? On top of that, he could rebound like a beast, assist like a beast. He's all-world everything. Mm-hmm. He was a top 5 wing defender of all time. Okay? So you're sitting there telling me that a guy that's one of the greatest defenders, definitely one of the best all-around offensive players, but the greatest scorer of all time, and the most clutch player of all time. I'm sorry. He owns that too. Okay? 6-0 in the finals. You can say whatever you want about Russell.
Havlicek was 8-0.
Yeah.
What's your point?
Who's better in their actual final series? Havlicek? Jordan? Let's be real here. Havlicek didn't carry all those teams.
I'm not sure you could say he was more clutch than Russell.
So you could debate that with all the Game 7s Russell won and blah, blah, blah.
Russell had 30 win-or-go-home situations in his entire career.
I understand
30. Do you know what his record was? 28-2.
He hasn't never lost a Game 7. I get it.
28-2. That's 90%. That's like 93% off the top of my head. So I can't say that. I can't say he's the most clutch ever. Can't do it.
No, 28-2 is not 98%.
No, 93. I said.
Oh, it's 93.
I just said off.
It's 93.33333.
All right.
But just telling you,
clutch is hell. Top 2 or 3 clutch guys ever.
Oh, It's got to be the two best clutch guys have got to be Russell and Jordan.
Bird's up there.
Yeah, he's got to be up there somewhere. I don't think he's as high as
Kareem should be in that
Kareem's going to
conversation.
be up there too.
Kareem
So I try to
should be
explain
in
to
that
people too.
conversation.
Kareem has 6 rings and 6 MVPs. Jordan has 6 rings and 5 MVPs. I mean, Michael Jordan's an absolute freak. I'm going to talk about baseball.
You want to go baseball the rest of the way?
Have you seen my baseball? Seen that movie?
That movie was
Okay, I'm just making sure you got that reference.
I love that movie.
to popular culture.
There were only two people who ruined that movie: Brett Favre and Ben Stiller. If they weren't in that movie,
I don't understand. First of all, Ben Stiller, really good actor.
no, he's not.
Ben Stiller,
He sucks.
do it. Let me explain something to you.
His
Possibly the best character.
role was in Happy Gilmore. That's
Yes,
it.
I was just gonna say that. And you know that's how I feel. Possible the best character in any movie ever is him in Happy Gilmore. I'm not saying best acting job. I'm saying best actual character. Like that character is hilarious.
I can think of.
No, you can't.
character.
You can't.
Yes, I can.
You can't.
Dude, Rex Ryan was a better
Guess what?
character.
Everybody arts and crafts me to send it for 5 more hours.
Now your back's gonna hurt
But my fingers hurt.
because you just pulled landscaping duty.
Anyone else's fingers hurt?
Anybody else's fingers hurt?
I don't think so.
That was his best role, by no doubt.
Dude, that role is awesome.
Oh, he's better than Jimmy Conway in Goodfellas. I mean, you got to put it in perspective. Come on.
Yeah, he's better than Jimmy Conway in Goodfellas.
He was better than Lefty Ruggiero and Donnie Brasco.
Yes, that character is better than Lefty
You're nuts.
Ruggiero.
You're nuts.
He's got more funniness, more arts and crafts, more threatening old ladies,
Lefty got more
guinea hitmen,
more power.
more celebration. So now you can say you already said that already. But you got me talking with it. That's not gonna fuck. We do that every podcast. At least once a podcast.
At least, yeah.
Maybe more. Like people were like, dude, stop fucking referring to the same shit over and over.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that's never going to get old.
Not for us.
Not for us. We're going to be figuring in our 80s. And
Got more power.
I'm going to be like,
Got more power.
I'm going to be Chris.
Got more power. You're gonna be like, you said that already.
Chris.
No, really, you already said that.
Chris, I'm going to be like, more celebration. I forgot what I was going to say.
More celebration.
Oh, more celebration.
Ah, Jesus, Lefty. Jesus, though, Bobby Bonilla. I'm still looking at that contract. I can't believe it.
By the way,
How did he get that?
I had to.
no way you could say to me a Lincoln is better
I'm
than a Cadillac.
saying
This is what we talk about.
Better than a Cadillac. It's a better automobile.
Forget about it. Cadillac got more acceleration. It's got more power. It's got better handling. It's got what? It's got more leg room for your legs. It's got more power. You just said that.
Bingo.
What I said? You just said that. More power.
You're starting to repeat yourself.
I said that.
Just getting senile.
Got me so fucking angry. Forget what I said.
I love that because he repeated himself. He lost the argument too. Like he's like, yeah, bingo. You just repeated yourself. Oh, okay. You just named 5 things. I love it. Got more leg room for your legs.
Actually, Cadillacs are better than Lincolns. Let's be honest. But
Yeah, that's just because they're better.
it's a kid. No one ever says like the Lincoln of blah blah blah. But all the time they say it's the Cadillac of.
I
that.
should start saying that. That's the Lincoln above above. They're like, what does that mean? That's just below a Cadillac.
Actually, I drive a Cadillac now.
You ever had Burger King fries? They're like the Lincoln of fast food fries. They're just below McDonald's.
Right. It doesn't. Everyone says it's the Cadillac of blah blah blah. It's been around forever. I drive a Cadillac now, and I love my car.
Scotty's car is nice. Not only that, Scotty washes his car, friggin' cleans
I
his
take good
car.
care of my car.
You're not even allowed to get in Scotty's car until you do like a friggin' like you have to go into one of those clean rooms and get like completely like hosed off and like he like vacuums you and then he's like, oh, you need to take a shower. Oh, we gotta check you for diseases. Oh, you can come in my car now. Oh, you good? Get in my car.
No, but I was like that with all my cars.
I know, but with this one you're even worse. So like you're like, oh my god, I think a rock might have kicked up and hit my tire. My tire has a
I
scuff.
flipped
I'm
out.
like, what do you mean?
I flipped out
He's
about
like, my
my rim.
tire has a scuff. No, not even rim. You're like, my tire. Look at my tire. Looks like it's been on the road. We need to clean that.
I have a Cadillac now, and I love it. And God willing, I make enough money I can buy Cadillacs the rest of my life. But I've had 2 Buicks, and I've also had an Oldsmobile. My Buicks.
Yeah, Scotty drives old people cars.
That's not true.
Buicks, Oldsmobiles, Cadillacs.
Just my car's an old person car.
Yours isn't. No, the Cadillac you have now isn't. No, but in general, Buicks, Oldsmobiles, and Cadillacs. Those are old people cars, bro.
What I like GM.
That's
I
fine.
like GM cars.
Got more power.
They do have more power.
Got more breaking down.
What I was gonna say was
Got less money. Got more Detroit.
My two Buicks and my Oldsmobile, they both have more legroom. All of them have more legroom for my legs than the Cadillac.
All of them.
But that's just because they're making cars smaller now. But yeah, let's get into baseball.
Okay.
I know that
Red Sox are mashing.
I know that you want Farrell fired last week.
I do want Farrell fired. That's just because I think he sucks. I don't think the team's winning in spite of him, just like 2013. I told you last week, I think, when I wanted them to get swept by Houston, that I just wanted them to get swept by Houston because I thought they were actually a better team than we expected them to be. They're better than mediocre.
You feel about Farrell the way I felt about Rivers when he was here.
Worse, because he's not as good as Rivers was. I'm sorry.
Probably not. I hate to say that, but you're right.
Listen, the pitching staff's a conundrum. The other day we talked about it. They had the most strikeouts since 1900.
And their ERA is last.
And they had the worst ERA in the league.
Which is weird. But the funny thing is, you watched Price in Atlanta the other night. He was horrible the first 4 innings.
The beginning.
But then he settled in.
And he killed it.
I think he struck out. What did he strike out? 12 in the last 6 innings or something like that.
He struck out 5.
He struck out the side in the 8th. He struck out the side in the 8th.
Was it 5 of his last 8 batters? I think he struck out.
Which I love seeing, by the way. I think they baby pitchers now. It was good to actually see someone go deep into a game and get better as he was going. But
Hanley's still hitting well, and everyone's not talking about it. I know he only has 1 home run.
The power's going to come. When the weather warms up,
he'll be better.
Manny Ramirez was the same exact. Manny never hit in April. Pujols never hit in April. None of these guys ever hit in April. The Dominican, and that's not me being racist. They're warm
weather guys.
Right. When the weather gets warm, they go off.
Xander's a Caribbean guy. I mean, what's Xander? He's a Reuben, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's at 292 right now, Xander. 791 OPS.
He only has 1 home run.
He only has 1. I understand that, but he's technically
he needs
his
more
OPS.
power.
Right. Mookie got more power, but Xander got more everything else. Okay, Xander got more leg room for your legs.
I still think Mookie's a better player.
You can say that. I didn't say that. Listen, it's not even. I said I think Xander may be better. I don't have a definitive. I've told you that. I think anyone that's picking that one player is better than the other yet is just erroneous on all accounts. May God have mercy on your soul. We are all dumber for listening to what you just said. You know what I mean?
That's Billy Madison. There you go.
But
I don't understand why you say I don't like.
I'm talking about current things.
Yeah,
like people are like you watch Walking Dead. That sucks.
By Game of Thrones, that's it. That's like the only thing I don't watch.
Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, Sons of Anarchy. You don't watch any good shows.
I don't watch any of those friggin' morons on the bike.
Oh, I know. Listen, if it was a show about mafia guineas, Scotty be watching it.
Probably.
Because there's other white people and there's bikers, Scotty like, no, that's fake. That's not real. Because now you can't leave. You know what I mean?
One of those guys look like Rob Schneider. Go back and watch A Bronx Tale.
Did he really?
In the bar. Looks just like Rob Schneider.
He's like, you can do it.
I swear to God, it was him.
I mean, but in general, the Red Sox are going to have more home runs than the Braves by, what, triple?
They'll hit more home runs.
They'll hit more home runs than Bryce Harper.
In a month than the whole season.
Let me see real quick. But this team they're killing it. Let me look at their team stats if it gives me them.
The way Porcello's pitching, and you know that Price eventually is going to settle in.
Look.
If they went out and got another legitimate guy to be the number 2, they could win the division. Maybe make a run. I'll be honest with you. The Cubs are the best team in baseball. Head and shoulders. No one's close. Now
I wouldn't say no one's close. The Dodgers, Giants, and Nationals are still really good teams.
Throw the Dodgers out.
Why?
They're not that good. They just got swept by the Marlins at home. They're not that good. I'm telling you.
It's dude, you can't just say one series matters that much.
They're not. I'm telling you.
That's not how it works.
I'm telling you, man. They don't have.
I understand the Cubs at this moment look incredible.
They lost Zach Greinke. They lost Zach Greinke. It's Zach Greinke that's going to come back and bite them. I think you could put the Giants in their class.
You don't think the Nationals are good?
I think the Nationals are very good. I think they're going to be in it. Do I think they're as good as the Cubs? No, I don't.
Give him some time. So Theo's great.
I think Theo's an excellent GM.
So do I. I was mad when he left.
No, he made a handful of bad signings.
Everybody makes bad signings. That's part of being a GM.
I'm going to explain what the.
I have a question for you.
Hold on. I'm going to say one thing, and then
I give you a basketball.
No, and then you can ask my question.
And I just keep having you shoot. You going to hit every shot?
No.
Steph Curry hit every shot.
No.
Steph Curry, the greatest shooter we've ever seen.
That I've ever seen?
That anyone's ever seen.
He's up there.
Okay. If I have Steph Curry just keep shooting. Oh, he's the best shooter right now.
Of all time?
Forget about it.
Of all time?
Of all time. If Steph Curry just keeps, even if he shoots incredibly, he's still going to miss, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what GM does. They miss. Everyone blamed Bill Belichick. I mean, we did make a joke when our little stat guy ran down here and told us about the pick. Oh, they got the best. He's a cornerback. He's a midget. Blah blah blah. We were like, oh my god, is he from Rutgers? But he wasn't. Obviously, we already talked about where he's from.
No surprise that he. I'm sure that Nick Saban gave him a full report because he and Belichick are like.
Well, he's probably not going to get anybody from Florida anymore. We talked about that already too.
Well, Urban Meyer's in Ohio State now.
But so. I mean, well, yeah, you know what I meant. Thanks a lot, asshole. That's true, but got less brain power. Oh shit! What was I about to say?
I don't know. I'm still holding on to what I was going to say.
I totally forgot what I was going to say.
Let me just go.
That's fine.
Let me just go. You can come back to it. Theo Epstein. There's a reason why the Red Sox didn't win a World Championship in 86 years. It was management.
Oh, okay. Yawkey.
What?
Yawkey.
Yeah. For some reason, and I don't know why this is.
Nice play by Hanley.
For some reason, for 8+ decades, the Red Sox didn't know that you win World Championships by having the best pitching and having a good farm system. Theo Epstein took a farm system that was barren. He was like a farmer. He was like a farmer.
There's still fruit growing because of him.
No, he was a farmer. He showed up on Tobacco Road. There's nothing. There's not even weeds. And he turned it into a beautiful garden. All these... The 04 championship team, that was a lot of free agent signings and guys that they picked up along the way. That 07 team had a lot of homegrown guys on it.
Oh, yeah?
A lot of homegrown guys.
Definitely did.
You talk about Lester was on that team. Papelbon was closing. Youkilis. Pedroia. Even Ellsbury, he came up later in that year.
Ellsbury came up. Buchholz was already pitching.
He made his debut. He was a September call-up. That doesn't really count.
So we just talked about Ellsbury.
Huh? Yeah, but Ellsbury, had talent. And he wasn't a pussy. Actually, he was a pussy, but not...
Actually, yeah, Ellsbury. Do you think the Yankees are really happy about Ellsbury right now?
I said when they signed him that this is a mistake.
It was a horrible mistake.
I
do remember what I wanted to say.
They're paying him $22 million a year for the next 7 years.
They get mad about Bill Belichick missing on players.
Okay.
Missing on cornerbacks, missing on wide receivers. How many hits he's had?
Got a lot of hits.
Bill Belichick's the greatest GM that ever existed.
I disagree, but he's up there.
Best GM that ever existed. If Bill Belichick had territory draft rights, all right, the ability to draft players years before they come out of college. And no free agency.
Red was never okay.
Patriots would be 87-0 in a row.
But Red was never really able to take advantage of the territorial selections because there's no major college programs in New England.
Holy Cross.
That was it.
He took advantage of it.
He didn't even want Cousy. The only guy he ever took who was Heinsohn. That was it.
Just telling you.
Before he discovered Russell, he was actually when Wilt was a high school boy. Tried to talk Wilt into going to Harvard, I believe it was, because he wanted to draft him with the territorial choice. But Red, because Red used to coach basketball camps in the Catskills in New York during the summer, and Wilt would play there and be a bellhop. But Red soured on him after a summer because he would try to tell Wilt what to do and try to help improve his game, and Wilt just had none of it. So that Red kind of soured on Wilt forever after that. But other than Heinsohn, he never really benefited from a territorial pick. They got Cousy because Red didn't want Cousy. He didn't draft him. He drafted Charlie Shear. And then the team that drafted Cousy, I forget who it was. I think the Chicago Stags, I think it was, folded. and it was him, Andy Phillip, and Max Zapslovsky. Like, I don't know if I'm saying that guy's name right. He was Jewish, so that's the one Red wanted, obviously. They put all the 3 names in a hat, and Boston was one of the teams, and Walter Brown drew Kuzi's name out of a hat. And the funny thing is, he was Walter Brown and Red's 3rd choice, and he turned out to be the player of the 50s. So sometimes you think you get bad luck and you get good luck. So what can you say? And that's our history lesson for today.
That's clearly wrong. Obviously, we haven't updated it. It's the mid-7th, and the Yankees are winning when they lost.
That's the other thing. The Yankees have been very disappointing to me. I thought they were going to finish 2nd in this division and go up to the American League.
Well, I picked them as 3rd, so.
Hold on a second. Right now, the Yankees are in last place at 8-13.
Yeah,
They're not that bad.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I had
had the same, except you switched the Yankees and Red Sox. 2nd and 3rd.
Right. We both picked Toronto to win the AL East. I still think they will win the AL East.
Still probably the best team.
Right now, if you're gonna go, it still is early, so we're gonna go by differential. Orioles are plus 23.
Yeah.
Red Sox
are plus 13.
Toronto's -1. Tampa Bay's -5. The Yankees are -22. For those who don't know what that means,
that's horrible.
Especially this early. For those who don't know what that means, it means they've scored 22 fewer runs than they've allowed. If we're talking about 100 runs scored on the season, Baltimore has 101. The Red Sox.
Look at this. They've played 21 games. Their differential is more than 1 run a game. That's horrible for a season.
Terrible. Baltimore scored 101 runs already, which is a lot. 118 for the Red Sox. They're just mashing.
Red Sox are mashing, dude.
They're mashing the ball. The problem is they've given up 105.
They'll get better, though.
They will get better.
And I meant to say about Porcello. I told you guys this when he was signed, okay?
They tried to make him the number 1 last year, and that's not who he is.
No, I know he was paid a shit ton. He wasn't paid like a number 1. He was paid what all number 2s and 3s are going to be making in a year or 2.
Mm-hmm.
They just did it to him early.
Yep.
Because you can't get a number 1 for the money. A real number 1.
Well, until this is salary cap, that's the way it's going to work.
Oh, yeah. Pitchers are going to be making $40 million a year soon. $40 million a year.
Look at the Houston.
That's insane. I remember when $20 million a year was
insane. Look at the Houston Astros. -28. They've scored 86 runs. They've given up 114.
Which were the teams that you picked to win fewer games than Golden State? It was
Philly, which is they're 12-10 right now.
Atlanta.
We
picked all National League teams. I thought Philly, Atlanta,
Colorado. I think I said.
Colorado. San Diego.
No, Colorado's 9-12. I didn't say San Diego.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Look at the Cubs.
We're gonna have to listen to that.
Look at the Cubs.
We're gonna have to go back to the tape.
Look at the Cubs. 136 scored.
I know.
57 allowed, a +79.
But they have had a huge plus minus since the beginning. They went off on a huge tear in the beginning.
Do you realize how ridiculous at the end of April +79 is?
I understand that.
Chris, they're on pace to score like 400 more runs than they allowed.
They're +45. That's not going to happen over the course of the whole year. You got to come back to earth. They're gonna.
The Cubs are going to score 300 more than they allow. They're going to be like the 07 Patriots.
On that note, I'm trying to remember. The 03-04 Red Sox both had huge differentials. I think the 03 was incredible. How far does this thing go back now? Only 06. What a garbage fucking site.
No, hold on.
Fuck you, ESPN. That's why I canceled my insider.
No, you canceled your insider out of protest.
Well, yeah. Plus the fact that they just bill your credit card without telling you.
The 03 Red Sox, by the way, they didn't have as good a pitching as the 04 and 07 teams, but I still think that's the best Red Sox team in my lifetime.
Lineup was the best lineup anyone's probably seen in 50 years.
Those Indians lineups in the 90s are really good.
That Red Sox team was even better, dude.
Those late 90s Yankees teams are really good.
The Indians were better than the Yankees lineups-wise, I think.
Those Yankees teams scored a lot of runs.
You had Albert Bell, you had Lofton, you had Manny Ramirez, you had Jim Thome.
Here's your differentials. Wow, at 03 they only scored 961 runs. I thought it was more than only 961.
Only, Scotty?
So the 04 team had a better differential. The pitching was a little better. It doesn't give you the differential.
No.
It just gives you
But
you got to do it in your head.
that's not that much big of a deal.
It
It's
is for me. I suck at
152 for the 03 team. That's almost a run a game. And the 04 team was 181. It's more than a run a game. That's absurd.
You want to see something really ridiculous?
Hold on. The 07 team. The 07 team was 210.
210 differential?
210 differential.
That was their best pitching.
Oh, yeah.
That was
657 runs they allowed.
Their
The
bullpen.
013 team was 197. They actually let up one less run than the 07 team.
I thought of the 5 teams we just talked about. That'd be the 03, 04, 07. No, 4 teams. I thought that was the worst team.
No.
Of the
See,
5.
I told you and I called it, and Scotty can attest to this.
In July.
It was June, but we have actual proof from July. That team, I know that a lot of the guys played really well. They didn't have their best years ever. I don't even think none of them had their best year ever. A lot of them had their second or third best years ever. But everyone was healthy, all that good stuff. Everything you need for a championship team, okay? What did I tell you before? I think it was 12. They had 12 guys that had better than a average OPS plus. I don't think people understand. You don't have 12 hitters that are better than average. That's not how it works. It's just not. It doesn't happen. You're supposed to have like 5 hitters that are better than average. Not 12. Their entire team was awesome that year. They actually had pitching too.
I want you to take a look at the 1939 Yankees.
I can't look at old school Yankees teams. It's not the same.
Look at the 1939 Yankees.
It's not the same. Scott.
Just recite it for me. How many games did they win?
106.
Look at the differential.
The differential
That is ridiculous.
was 411.
All right, they scored 967 runs and gave up 556. And Gehrig had ALS. Imagine if they had a healthy Gehrig that year, they may have won 120. Team was loaded. No one's ever going to have a differential 400 plus again.
No,
Ever.
completely different league.
Ever.
That's part of what I was saying. Oh, look at Ruth.
Yeah, they scored
I know you guys
1,000 runs 3 years in a
Don't
row.
care about this necessarily, but Ruth's WAR is ridiculous. 11.8, 12.6, 14.1, 11.7, 11.5, 12.4. I mean,
Always the GOAT.
yeah. You know, technically,
Right over there.
statistically,
Goat.
at the age of
Goat.
24, I think it's 24. It's got to. I think that's how old Trout
Look at his
Trout is currently, at the age he is right now, the best player that's ever existed. Up to the age of 24.
Look at Ruth's 1921 season.
But are you listening to me?
Yep.
Trout is currently the best player that's ever existed up to this point. Now, will he stay that good? I don't know.
All right. Now, we're going to look at Ruth's 1921 season with the Yankees. He was 26 years old. Now, I want you to keep
All I
in
know is
mind.
I see a lot of black there.
All I'm going to...
You see that?
That's racist. No, I'm kidding.
If you use the reference websites, the bold, where you see all the black,
That means leader.
led the league.
Now, hold on. Before we read off the numbers, Ruth's 1921 season, he had a bunch of great other seasons, too. I know he hit 60 home runs in 27. His best season by far was 1921. Okay? This is the dead ball era. And the ballparks were like Yellowstone back then. They were huge.
Some of them didn't have fences, I don't think.
Right.
It's
All
been
right.
on forever.
All right. So Ruth, he had 177 hits.
Led the league.
177 runs.
Led the league.
For the people,
204 hits. Didn't lead the league.
Okay.
44.
44 doubles, 16 triples,
A ton of triples. 59 homers. Led the league. Probably beat the rest of the American League combined.
106,
I didn't say teams. I said American League.
168 RBIs,
Led the league.
17 steals, 145 walks,
Led the league. Just do the led the league stuff.
378, and he didn't lead the league in hitting.
Well, that batting average, and that's what I explained to you when you're like, "Well, Ty Cobb's batting average." Everyone's batting average back then was beast.
But
Look, no one will ever hit 400 again.
Yeah, but hold on. Look at 59 home runs. If Ruth wasn't trying to hit home runs, because he probably was trying to hit home runs, he might have hit
While Ty
470.
Cobb was incredible, his average today equals out to like around 300. Okay, Ruth's home runs today equal up to like 400 a year.
300.
Yeah.
All right. On base percentage, 51.2. So half of the time
512.
he's on base. Half the time he's on
More
base.
than half the time.
Look at the slugging. Look at the OPS. Look at the OPS plus. Look at the 457 total bases.
Yeah, because next year is even better OPS plus.
But 21's his best season. This was rated the best season in 1999 when they were doing like all that end of the century stuff.
Ah, fuck those dudes.
But there's no other season that's close.
His OPS plus are both better. His OBP is even better at 532 clip. He walked more. Never as many RBIs and home runs, but that's RBIs are a function of your team, so forget that.
Yeah, but look at 1922. How many games did he play in? 42.
I'm just telling you, he played in fewer games, but he was statistically better in some aspects, multiple aspects. And better OBP, better slugging, better OPS, better OPS plus. And all those are going to follow each other anyways for the most part.
Yeah, 690 slugging percentage for your career. Eek. Wow.
Anyways, I think
Let's call it a show.
that about wraps it up.
All right.
When we
I
just
think I'm
read
gonna have a couple of hot dogs and
By the way, Babe
celebration
Ruth,
of the
I know we've
NBA.
talked about this before. You can only win the MVP once back then.
1923.
He should have like 87 MVPs. He should have more MVPs than times he played. But that's a wrap. You can catch us at YouTube. It's Chris and Cash.
podcast.
And you can also catch us at
Gamesofbenches.com.
that's www.
Gamesofbenches.com.
Maybe we'll write again when our site admin doesn't die of conjunction heart failure.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week.
Comma. Apostrophe. No. Quotation mark.